Welcome to King Po Myers and your Sunday book review. Today I want to review the first book I read this year that I got for Christmas, Stephen King's The Institute. Now, as I said, I got this for Christmas and I honestly was not excited at all to read this book. For me, when I read the synopsis, it was Firestarter meets Netflix's Stranger Things. I wasn't at all excited for this. I thought he watched Stranger Things and made this. And Firestarter, though I'll do a review for that book another time, I never was really in love with that book. I thought it was fine. I thought the girl in it, the Firestarter, was really, really cool, but I just felt like it dragged on. It was a fine book. There's nothing wrong with being a 7 out of 10 book. 7 out of 10 is being very generous with Firestarter for my taste. But I read the synopsis of The Institute. I got it for Christmas from my wife. I read it to kind of appease her, not really expecting much. I can easily say that this is in my top 10 Stephen King books of all time. The world building he does in this story, that is my cat Binks, sorry for that. The characters that he creates in this, the different locations that he creates, I was at the edge of my seat the entire time reading this book. It follows this young boy, I think he's like 9 or 10 years old, Luke Ellis. One minor spoilers, but it's all in the beginning. His parents are murdered in the middle of the night and he's kidnapped and taken to the Institute. The Institute is a place where young children are abducted and taken in order for their powers to be harnessed. The purpose of these powers being harnessed, I'm not going to get into because that's a lot of spoilers, but it's a very grand scale. I'll say that. And you follow Luke meeting other prisoners, other young children who've been kidnapped, who are trying to survive these horrible caretakers, these horrible scientists. This is true hell on earth for these young children. And it's really sometimes difficult to read what they're going through because it is almost like a concentration camp, what they are going through. They're being forced to use their powers. They're being forced to do things that they just don't want to do. They're told that you'll go back to your family. Thanks. Shh. That you'll go back to your family when this is all done, but the kids are really smart and realize we're not going home. This is it for us. I could not put this book down. I mean, this is a fairly long Stephen King book. Actually, well, 550 pages. I think I finished this in a week and a half, and I'm a very slow reader. It was just I was just so entranced with what is going to happen to Luke. Can he escape the Institute? Can any of these kids escape the Institute? What can you do where you're being drugged all the time, where you're being beaten? It's really like a very, very dark story, but I really cannot recommend this book enough. Like I said, it is in my top 10 favorite Stephen Kings of all time. I'm honestly just very excited to reread it. I hope to maybe reread it next year because I just got lost in the story. And please tell me what you thought of this, if you have read it, if you have any interest in reading it. Last thing I will say is, with Firestarter, the girl has an insane amount of power. It's almost like she could have been one of the X-Men. She could create these incredible infernos like that. The kids are not that strong. Yeah, they can use some telekinesis, but they can move a pen. But it's what they're being trained to do and what the Institute wants them to do, that is really, really intense. Please pick up this book. You will love it. If you love Stephen King, it is King at his finest. Whenever I hear people talk about, oh, Stephen King's lost it, Stephen King hasn't been the same since the 1980s, I would put this up against any of his works from the 1980s. And I love his 80s works. Check this book out. Cannot recommend enough. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Until next Sunday, have a good one.